Hello traders, welcome to today's video. Another quick whiz around the charts this morning where I am going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and I am also going to be throwing in a couple of bonus pairs that I have never shown or never really done any proper analysis on this channel before. Now, these are assets that I have traded in the past. Obviously, when crypto is fun and crypto is exciting and you've got all the altcoins moving, then there's not really any need to trade these other markets. But in the conditions that we're in now, I do think that it is important to look elsewhere for opportunities, and there is certainly opportunity elsewhere at the moment. So do keep your eyes peeled until the end of the video, where I am going to be going over these a couple of additional charts that you may not have seen me cover before. As always, please do hit that like button, hit subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and please, if you are new to the channel, do go and check out tauruscrypto.com. okay, it is in the top corner of the screen just there. This is tauruscrypto.com, where you can find out a lot more about ourselves as a community. We do have a free Discord community here. We also have the Taurus crew, and right now over in the crew section we are doing this very special offer, the school's out for summer special offer, where you can trade with us for 1 month for just £69. okay, so you can sign up for that here using this summer special. Join now, or if you would like to pay with crypto, okay, you can see nice and bright, nice and summery colors down here in the bottom. You can click buy now, which you will be able to pay with crypto. Now, this deal is only running until the end of the week, and then it will revert back to the usual stuff. Okay. Within the crew membership, okay, we do daily trading rooms, basically live trading. Okay, so we're always looking at setups in real time, and we are looking to trade those in real time. We've got thousands of hours of educational content. Included in that is our amazing Elliott Wave series from French Bull. We have a brand new harmonic series from the Swooping Hawk, who are two coaches of, well, within the crew, and also Luxury, who has given some absolute golden nuggets, especially in terms of where we see volume throughout the day, new session times to be aware of, the best moments in which to take trades, and he is just, yeah, an absolute master of order flow and execution of those trades. There's so much more in there that you can take advantage of as well. So I would thoroughly recommend for anyone who is looking to up their trading game this summer, do go and check this out. Okay, enough waffling on. Let's get into the analysis. Okay, so let's go back over onto here. So actually, before I do that, I do just want to cover, well, we'll cover the move that we had down yesterday. Okay, so where we are, let's just throw in a couple of charts here. So we came into an area of like really quite important support, and I know that's been the case for quite some time now, where we've been saying, okay, this support is really important, this support is really important, this support is really important. But at this point, it really is, for the kind of trend that we're in at the moment, with especially if you just take away everything from the chart, I think we're at a region where if we are to stand any chance of making higher highs from this structure here, it kind of has to be from this region. Okay, we've got a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm just going to pull up the Discord quickly because it better explains what my thoughts were from yesterday. So if you do see here, this is basically what we had, okay, and what we've seen on the recent moves. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So what we've seen here on these recent moves down is very much similar to what we'd seen on previous moves within this range. Okay, so you could draw a fractal from our previous move down, where we came into yesterday pretty much matched up perfectly with that. Where we came into again, there was the daily level, the weekly level, golden pocket region, and approaching the POC. And what we also had here was this big channel that we're on. So this is what I was looking for yesterday. And if you do look down at the bottom, I'm sorry if this is very small on your screen, but what I was saying yesterday is I am holding short, but will look for longs below 20,800. Okay, that was just the basic region that I was looking at. Okay, so price is now resting just above my next point of interest for longs, between 20,500 and 20,800. Here we have the larger range POC, golden pocket, previous week open, daily naked point of control, and more. We also have the channel low within this area. We are back into the discount region of the range and have seen similar move down on the previous two occasions. Okay, so that basically just highlights exactly what I'm saying here as this being some quite critical support. So the other thing that I didn't have on that update yesterday is if you do go over all of your charts, you've got an anchored VWAP here that comes in from the low that we made back in June. Okay, and this is consistent across all three charts, the three main charts I look at, which is the Coinbase chart and the Bybit USD and the USDT pairs. I obviously go on to other ones as well, but those are the three main ones, and it's very much consistent. Okay, you can see that anchored VWAP really kind of where price is right now. But the USDT pair is the one that I'm doing most of my charting on at the moment currently, so we'll stick with that one. What we also had there was this weekly level. So as we came down into that, and this was a really quite a straightforward trade to get into yesterday, gave you plenty of opportunities, and there was no real sign of this breaking down any further. So what we were looking for, I'll remove this. This is where I actually took profit on the long from yesterday. Okay, so we had that big move down, and this was relatively, like I say, straightforward in order to get into these trades with that move down yesterday that took out the highs. Okay, we came into nice previous area. I won't go over where we were. Yes, that's kind of gone. But then we moved down into this anchored VWAP area. And we finally, I hadn't taken the long at this stage because we were above my region of support, but finally hitting into that weekly level down there at 20,799, and then you get a couple of bounces off of it. Okay, so it really did give you a nice, almost like accumulation pattern at the low here, where you have a selling climax. Okay, you come down, you test, you take out the liquidity as your spring, you test again, and then you finally get that market structure change, and you get some continuation on here. And you can see here, realistically, okay, we're still in quite a heavy downtrend, but locally we have had a nice change of market structure, and we've been able to see some continuation from there. So where we are currently, okay, is we are looking at we're looking at a trending day up at the moment. Okay, you can see how we had that drop down, and that perfectly, I'll show you in just a second, I'll show you right now. That perfectly, if we do go on to our TPO chart here and we take a look, then our anchored VWAP close, our VWAP, previous day VWAP close, price coming straight down into that previous day VWAP close and then getting a really nice bounce there. Okay, so that was a very nice little thing from the overnight session that we were able to see, and we have seen that continuation on into this morning. Now there's a really important region that I'm looking at as resistance at the moment. Okay, and that will be, first of all, okay, you got a little order block or region here around about that 21,600 area here. So you can see how we had that breakdown, that consolidation, and then continuation. So if we do get a move up into this 21,600 region, I would be looking at that as significant resistance. What we also have, if we do pull our fibs from that region there, it lines up with our golden pocket. Okay, so there's your 618 at 21,650. You have your 702 and your 786 within that zone as well. So the other thing that we do have, we're on a 30-minute chart, so there's your single prints, the top of the single prints there. If you're actually looking for the imbalance of candle to candle, then we can take that up to, again, around about that 21,600 region. So that is what I'm looking for fresh short positions. At that stage, you'd probably look to take things back into the point of control of the day, around the daily open, that kind of thing. We'll see how it goes. Also to be aware of, you've got your previous day POC coming up here, around that 21,800. No, not previous day point of control. That's actually where we came into yesterday overnight. We do have a naked point of control around about that 21,800 level. Okay, and once again, if I do just show on the TPO charts here, then you can see that lining up. It's on here showing as that actually looks to be combining a bit more price action. It's weird how we get these double days on the profile sometimes, and I can't actually click reset. So yeah, that's 2 days of price action. Not sure why it's doing that, so we'll just have to be aware of that as well. But anyway, volume coming up around that 21,800 region, which annoyingly isn't showing right now on that chart. That's Bitcoin. Really? That is Bitcoin. There's not really too much more to say on this. I do think that if you're looking for long positions, you got to wait for, I mean, it's kind of gone at this stage. We're coming up into resistance right now, and you'd want to find a pullback, and you'd want to continue this market structure up if you're going to look for longs. To look for short positions probably makes a little bit more sense. If we are to form some kind of low around here, then I do think we're likely to range around this region for a bit longer. Something to be very aware of today is we do have FOMC later, so we're going to be having interest rates, announcements, statements, a load of stuff about the economy, so do be aware of that. That'll be during the New York session, so yeah, make sure you are not overexposed in a position in any way as we go into that, and yeah, just keep an eye. So obviously everyone within the crew, we will be keeping a close eye on that today as we go into the FOMC stuff later on. Yeah, okay, Ethereum. So Ethereum, I want to show this chart here. Okay, so this is what we are looking at on ETH. Relatively simple. Okay, I'm going to stick with the 4-hour chart on this. So I'm in the short. I have taken profit on the short. So we had the 4-hour order block, which is where we were looking for a price to go into. We finally got that over the weekend, and I hadn't been able to get into a short position all of last week because this was just continuing this kind of bullish, well, not really bullish, but this range, and kept on taking out the highs. But finally we did come into that 4-hour region. I was able to get a short really nicely up at the top there. And 4-hour block into 4-hour block, and actually a daily order block that we have down here. So that's very, very simple. Okay, you can see consolidation, you go from one to the next, and then you get a bounce off of this. So really, really straightforward there on Ethereum. If we do go onto the daily chart, then you can see even clearer. Okay, it's a daily order block. Very, very clear. So that's what we had there on ETH, and we've had a nice bounce off of that. So yeah, very nice. That was a good take profit on the short position. I didn't actually long that because, well, I missed it. I wasn't actually at the charts at that time. It would have been a nice long opportunity, but for the short that I'm in, and with everything being down a little bit at the moment anyway, I was happy just to get in that take profit, just to lock in those profits off of the short position, and yeah, happy days. That's Ethereum. Actually, if you do go onto here, you can see it actually quite nicely back tested this weekly level as well. So as soon as you got that change of market structure, coming back in, testing the weekly level. And again, very similar situation to Bitcoin, where we're coming up into resistance at the moment, back into what was the low of this previous range here. Okay, so if we actually straighten out these lines and we look at this as more of a channel that we have going on around here, you can see price just trying to get back in to that zone. What I can also throw up on here, excuse me, is, let's take a look at this. Okay, so yeah, we're coming back up into the POC. We're coming back up into volume here, and we actually, that was a nice confluence for the low. Okay, you can see the high volume node. That's obvious that you're going to have a high volume node within that region, but it was also the value area low of the move up that we had. And if we do shift this across to where we actually started to form this range here, it's a bit more narrow actually. So yeah, we've got a bit of a way to go. Maybe it's similar to Bitcoin. If this can continue to climb a bit higher and get a decent back test, and then we can look for shorts again. At that point, I think it's maybe a little bit early in the day to be looking for shorts. Maybe a little bit later on, we get those opportunities. So yeah, that's Ethereum. We will now take a look at, yeah, let's go onto the S&P 500 very, very quickly. Okay, we know that we had that rejection here off of the, again, 4-hour block. We had the 1-to-1 there. And what we did is we came down into our weekly level and had a nice bounce. So similar kind of situation here on the SPX S&P 500. It looks a lot like Ethereum actually. It looks a lot like Ethereum. So you had that little range, and it's coming down, taking out the lows of the range, and is currently just back testing off of the previous support that it did have. But again, still locally a bit of an uptrend going on here, so that is important to be aware of. However, with big stuff coming up later on today, FOMC, then we do need to be very aware that we could see some volatility within this. And if we do just go onto the SPX chart itself, we can see here just the inefficiencies and the gaps that we do have below. Okay, so if we are to get a pullback, then we do have 1, 2, 3 levels below where we do have basically massive inefficiencies on the chart there. We are back below these previous highs, so we do need to be very much aware that this could create a bigger rolling over of price action if what we get later on is negatively affected or negatively affects the market. Just looking at this very narrow, skinny little wedge type of thing here. Yeah, that's the SPX. Just a brief analysis on that. The Nasdaq. Okay, so the Nasdaq as well, I would like to just quickly run through very briefly. So we came up into the daily level. Again, we were expecting a rejection here. This is why we were short everything. At the end of last week, like, everything hit into major resistance. So it was just like short it all. Short it all. Ethereum, Bitcoin, the S&P, the Nasdaq, it was all shorts last week, and we've had a decent pullback. For the Nasdaq, again, maintaining this little uptrend that it's in, potentially looking a little bit parabolic if it can gain some momentum to the upside, but it really is crucial that it holds this region, and that goes across all of the assets at the moment. So it came up into the point of control of the previous range, into that daily level, had a nice drop back, bouncing off of the value area high here, and is maintaining that uptrend. Okay, you can see higher highs, higher lows consistently. So we will continue to trade it as such. This is on the 4-hour chart, very powerful. And yeah, there's not really too much more for me to mention on here. Again, you've come back in to fill some imbalances, some inefficiencies on the chart. You can see very impulsive move up, and we've come back into that region. So this whole region basically between here and here, very much impulsive. You've come back, you've had a really nice test off of that, and we're getting a bounce at the moment. You'd have to say to the upside, we do have some above. So if we are to come up, you'd say there'll be a decent target around that 12,565 region on the NQ1, the Nasdaq mini futures there. Nasdaq itself, okay, same thing. It's just got some gaps in it because it closes more than the NQ1. But that is that. Now, okay, so if you haven't already liked the video and subscribed and all of those kind of things, please do that at this stage, because I know I'm going over things very quickly, but hopefully this is giving you guys some useful information. I'm now going to look at a couple of new pairs. So again, what I was saying earlier on, and I've never done this before. I know I have been a bit of a poo. I don't like Forex, but in the kind of conditions that we're in at the moment, we are finding opportunities within Forex that I haven't really seen for quite some time. Okay, it is becoming very relevant because of everything that's going on in the world. Once you get massive news events and a massive shift in the economy, and everyone has their eyes on the economy, Forex does become very tradable. It's the same as when there's a lot of hype around Bitcoin and everyone's talking about Bitcoin. All the altcoins and everything become tradable, and there's a certain way that I really like to trade altcoins, which is based off market structure, liquidity, and volume, and that translates very well into the Forex markets. Much slower pace, but it translates very well, and it kind of makes sense. Okay, what people are talking about is what moves. This time last year, everyone was talking about Bitcoin. Everyone was maybe this time last year. Yeah, actually, yeah. Everyone was talking about Bitcoin. Everyone was talking about the altcoins. That was where all of the excitement was, all of the buzz was. Now, all of the, maybe not excitement, but all of the attention is on the macroeconomics, and that is why Forex becomes tradable. So I have taken a few trades recently on Forex. I've been keeping this kind of quiet because it's been a while. I've needed to get myself back into things. But realistically, especially on the euro dollar and the GBP dollar, I do find that we've got some decent setups here. Okay, and we can see consistent downtrend here on the euro USD. Okay, and as we were breaking down here, back testing into Again, it's the same thing that we're seeing on the S&P 500, same thing that we're seeing on Ethereum, same thing that we're seeing across all assets. It's all translates across everything. It's just different kind of time periods and different kind of movements and all of that. 4 hour block, okay, 4 hour volume, where you have a breakdown, you have consolidation, you get continuation. You come back into that region, what do you have there? 618 golden pocket into that 4 hour zone, and then you break down. Once again, okay, you have a breakdown from the range, so you have a range, you break down, you consolidate, continuation, back test, and then that gives you another move down. You have a range here, you break down, you consolidate, continuation. What happens there? This very obvious for the long and where we bounced on the euro dollar is that we reached that parity, and if you trade Forex and you didn't long the euro at that point, it's crazy. But yeah, a nice bounce off of that. And then we saw a local change of market structure here. Okay, so you can see this consistent downtrend, 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 break of structure, well, market structure change, change of character at that point. Then we came back up into that that golden pocket region, that 4 hour block, and at that point, that was when I took a short on the euro dollar. Okay, and I've just countered that today with a long. Okay, or yesterday with a long, and this is because, okay, you had that change of direction here at the lows, where we went from downtrend, breaking market structure there, and putting in a couple of higher highs and higher lows before that bigger rejection. Now what we've done is we formed a nice little range here. We came down, took liquidity at these lows into a little imbalance, little inefficiency on the chart. Most of this stuff's kind of been traded through, kind of been like covered already. You can see here, even that impulsive move up came back quite nicely on a wick. So really it is this that was the big impulsive move. And again, you have this little area here with that 4 hour zone just below it. So as we came down, took liquidity below, where are we? 1.01193, around about there. Then that was a nice opportunity to take a long. And in this situation, I'm really looking, you've got to look back onto the kind of the lower time frames on this, maybe move on to the 15-minute chart, the 30-minute chart. But yeah, in a short position, countered that with a long, and I do think that this has an opportunity to come back up into these highs before potential continuation down. Now, the euro is a really nice one at the moment because it's going to be very difficult for it to stay below a dollar for a long time. Every time it goes below a dollar, even if it does go below a dollar again, there's certainly going to be demand for the euro at that point. So if you are a trader and you do like to trade on Forex, then yeah, euro going below $1, reaching that parity and going below is kind of a no-brainer, really. So for me, obviously nice to take that short position there, but realistically I do think we've got some nice imbalances left on the chart here, and these are represented by these little purple zones here. So you can see where we have those very impulsive breakdowns that have as of yet not been mitigated on the chart at all. So you can see all of this kind of price comes into back test, you break down, consolidate, break down, consolidate, price comes into back test this, but you have these two regions on the chart here that have never really come in and been back tested. So if you are looking at a potential change of direction on the euro dollar, then if this can get back above here, then I would be very quickly looking for a move back from being in basically a little bit of a position like this. So long from here, you don't want to give this, realistically, I mean, if it kind of comes, if it doesn't react at that point, I'd want to be getting out of that trade. Again, like I'm saying, I'm already short, but a move up from this 1.012 level up towards around about that 1.044, 1.043 region is the kind of thing that I'm looking for over time. Now, this is Forex. It takes a long time to play out, and you've got to be very patient with it. But that is a couple of trades that I'm just kind of playing with. New opportunities. There's other stuff to be aware of, and the Forex market is actually quite nice at the moment. It's the same with the GBP USD, and this is even more simple for myself. Okay, it's just very simple. You had a downtrend, you had the market structure change here, you come back in, and I have taken a long position as we got a dip. It wasn't particularly technical, but it's a very similar situation. I'm looking for a move up towards this region here, $1 $1.22 there on the GBP. Okay, so GBP USD, I'm looking for that 122 region as a move up on here. Now this wasn't, again, like I'm saying, I didn't get into, at this point, this here would have been the nice long position, but what I saw was price continuing that uptrend, price coming into your golden pocket, into that 618, was able to take a long position. You also have 4-hour lows down at that point. After a fairly impulsive move, you come in, you test that region, and then we're looking at possible continuation from this. So this is, yeah, very, very simply the chart that I'm looking at on the GBP USD, and I would be looking for that continuation up towards this point here. Okay, and you can see that impulsive move down, not yet back tested. It's just been a downtrend ever since. You have a change of market structure and you can continue that. And what that would do is it wouldn't threaten the higher time frame market structure, which is still down. Okay, so it's a very relatively straightforward trade, and then you could maybe be looking for short positions as you come down there, because at this stage, if these highs were to get taken, these highs being very kind of strong, these lows not being as strong, because every time you can see your high is taking out your low, your high is taking out your low, and if this was to come up here, then you could see that kind of continuation. And maybe we're on a case where we find that the GBP finds that parity with the dollar at some point in the future. But as a little trade, is something to be looking at over the next couple of weeks. I think these two pairs in particular for myself have been very nice. And it's just nice and relaxed trading. It's, again, similar methods to how I would look to trade altcoins, but obviously much, much, much slower. But yeah, that really is everything that I want to go over today. Again, as I've said, please do like the video. If you haven't done so already, please do check out tauruscrypto.com. And if you want to take advantage of our super duper special offer that is currently running up until, well, for the next few days, then do go and check out the tauruscrypto.com. Yeah, we do have the summer special up on there. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great day. For those of you in the crew, we have our New York trading room later on. We will also be having a keeping a very keen eye on the developments this afternoon on the FOMC meeting. And yeah, until then, enjoy your day, enjoy the sun if it is sunny where you are. And yeah, thank you. Cheers. Bye.